Hello, Kendall.
Joe, how are you?
Pretty good, and I'm hoping you're well. And I want to talk to you about money.
Okay. Whether I'm giving or you're giving, want to clarify that.
No,
You need to borrow some, Joe?
No,
What's
no,
yeah, we
going
got
on?
an issue, Such?
no, Kendall. What are your reactions to a $9.3 billion surplus?
Oh boy, that one, if anything, is just an indicator and a symbol of how overtaxed we are as Minnesotans. So that's number one, and number two, the taxpayers, those that paid that money in, should get all that money back. This is not all Minnesotans, but those that paid the taxes to it.
What would prevent a $9.3 billion surplus? By which I mean different tax rates, right? You shouldn't end up with a $9 billion deficit surplus.
That's correct. And in fact, on our website at kq4mn.com, we have what our tax rates would be under a Qualls administration.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and one of the things we do, we collapse the personal tax from 4 brackets to 2, make it very simple, 3% low rate, 6% the top rate. The corporate tax would shrink from 9.8 to 7. We eliminate the death tax, estate tax as we know it, as well as the Social Security tax.
oh my God, that'd be marvelous. That would really be helpful. You know, the Center of the American Experiment is having a tax rally at the Capitol on April 23rd. Be interesting if you could find a spot there to weigh in. You would be well received, I think.
Well, they do wonderful work there, great policy work. Some of the recommendations that I have for our administration, very similar, if not some of the work they've actually done.
Kendall, where's the campaign stand right now? Are you comfortable with it? Or are you happy with its progress?
I'm very happy with the progress, Joe. I tell you, there is a very, very good chance that we'll come out of this with the endorsement. And that's what, I said that going in. Yes, I abide by the endorsement because we're going to get it. When we give our message across the state, it doesn't matter, Metro, Greater Minnesota, people are encouraged. And I hear the same constant words, you give me hope. You give me hope. And they're encouraged by the message. They love the leadership component to it. And when we give our message, we win 50 to 60% of the people in the audience, even if they're backing another candidate.
Kendall, we've been talking about on the world stage, the national stage, the local stage. It feels like we are a group of people hungering for some real leadership. It just seems we're adrift right now. The whole idea of this beautiful American experiment seems to be constantly getting challenged, and where the people are really looking for a leader that would seize upon that and try to keep America the country it once was.
Well, that's exactly why I'm stepping forward, Joe, is that over the course of my life, I felt so privileged, so honored to just be an American, serve our country, to start my life from nothing and to where I ended up in life. You know what? And I get stories from people all across the state, and they say the same thing. Your story is my story, or your story is my parents' story. It happens to people regardless of race and regardless of social standing. We can achieve these things, especially when the government gets out of the way. And that's what I want to do, get our state government out of the way and bring us together again as Minnesotans, as Americans, because when we're together, we can accomplish much, much more than when we're divided the way we are today.
Kendall, the St. Paul City Council just unanimously passed an ordinance creating a reparations commission. Apparently the studying will begin, and then they'll determine how to go about this. Where do you stand on something like reparations?
Well, and I tell people this, reparations have already been paid.
Mm-hmm.
They've been paid in the highest cost you can ever give, and that's spilled blood.
Right.
The Civil War, the civil rights, with the death of Martin Luther King, we have opportunity. That's our reparations, opportunity. Joe, look, and I mean that in all sincerity. Look, I would love to tell people that I'm exceptional. I'm not. Okay, we live in an exceptional country. From my perspective, I serve an exceptional God. I'm a Christian, and look, we all have the same access and the same opportunity pathways. Now, we don't have the same outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole reparations thing, it is a political divider. It's a joke, and trust me, it will be shut down quickly once I'm elected. And it's actually sad when I see the lack of leadership between the two Twin City mayors that we have.
Mm-hmm.
We need adult supervision, and that's what I'm coming to do.
This whole idea of equity, give me your position on this. It's come to mean far more than it was ever intended to mean. I think it's a code word for trying to make outcomes equal without doing the hard work to make them equal.
Well, I have stopped trying to use the same language as the people that want to reshape our country.
Right.
Equity meant what it always has meant. It means ownership.
Right.
It means when I used to get equity in the company, that means I had a stock, I had bonds, I had some type of equity ownership.
Right.
That's what it means. They want to your point, they want to try to recraft that language and that word so we can all stop adopting it. And I've stopped kind of playing that game with them. We want people to have equal access to the same opportunity, and it starts with giving a good education. We have to make sure that people understand nothing gets done without a work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many late nights I worked, how many late nights I had to study just to, for the opportunities I had. But that's called the ticket to the game.
But your ideas are so clear, so obvious, and so logical that they don't gel with the mess we're in.
Well, I'm the firm believer, Joe. You got a lot of fans all over, not just the state, but in Florida and Arizona. I visit folks there. There's more of us than there are of them. Unfortunately, they've got the megaphone of the media.
Yes, they do.
And they have academia. President Eisenhower warned when he left the office of the industrial military complex. What I'm warning us is about. We have an academic industrial complex. They don't want to have anything to do with the capitalist system. That complex literally hates the country and the values that built it. And we need to start taking over the mantles of leadership in order to right the ship.
Kendall, the academy has just failed. It's just there's an endless stream of stories about how it's failing mightily. And as a governor, you wouldn't really have much to do with putting universities back together, but you'd have plenty to do with the Department of Education in Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and we're going to get back to the basics of education. One of the things that the teachers union president, the local teachers union president,
right,
and as well as the national teachers union president, they mentioned they're fighting against patriarchy and capitalism.
I saw that.
And I wrote an op-ed on this thing.
Yep.
That's the problem we have. Is they want to have a war on capitalism, and what they don't understand is that the engine has driven this country for 200 years, has lifted billions out of poverty, including myself. And if you have a war against capitalism, that means you're pro something else. And that's a whole different conversation.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any events coming up where people can arrive and watch you and talk to you and ask you questions?
Oh, absolutely. We have fundraisers that are planned. We have events that we have scheduled, road shows that are scheduled. Michelle Tafoya and I are doing an event together, a Zoom invite broadcast type thing.
Yep.
My wife and I are doing the same one. Both things you can be found on our website at kqformn.com.
KQ for men.
Yes, KQ for Minnesota, exactly.
Yeah.
And I tell you, things are going extremely well. I couldn't be more pleased. Our fundraising number, when we announce it, it'd be a pleasant surprise for everyone. We'll let that one stand out there for a while, but it's going to surprise a lot of folks.
Wonderful. Yes,
Kendall, really quick, you mentioned getting the nomination. When do you expect that to be announced? When should we expect that announcement?
Yeah, the convention is scheduled the weekend of May 13th. And it's a tough race, and we're working on it. We're working on it now. I give myself the higher probability. We have good candidates that are in. I believe in what I want to be able to do for the Republican Party and our state is I believe that I can win with the widest margin. That's what we're going to need. We can't be close, and we know the shenanigans that have been played in the past. We have to win in a wide margin, and I believe I can help deliver that for us.
Because I do know that we had Tom Hauser on, who emceed an event for all of the Republican candidates, and I know that he had said after that whoever was given the nomination, the rest of the candidates would support that given individual. Do you still anticipate that?
Yes, I do. And trust me, I don't believe we'll have any contention, especially if I get the nomination. I don't think we'll get any contention at all.
Good.
And we can stay laser focused on booting out the current governor.
All right, man, we're cheering for you.
All right. Well, here's one message I have for you, because a lot of your listeners they said, whatever you do, don't endorse me. Your track record's not great.
It's horrible.
You're fond of me.
In fact, let me take it back. I hope you lose.
No, don't say
There
that.
we go.
All right, Kendall, thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Bye.
KQ
4MN.
for men.
That's good to hear, though, because I remember when Tom joined us and he said that whoever got the Republican nomination, the rest of the candidates would fall in line and support.
Including Kendall.
Right. So
He'll abide by the endorsement.
That's really good to hear, because, again, the last thing you want is 4 or 5 people to run on the same ticket.
Yeah. How in God's name could his message be contested? And it will be.
And just wait. That's what I'm going to say.
It's going to be horrible.
It will be, and it'll be laughable. He's the American dream.
Yeah, but the American dream, the Mysterians do not want an American dream to exist.
No, they don't. They want you to feel oppressed.
They don't want the American dream. They've fallen out of favor with the whole concept of this wonderful constitutional republic experiment. And that's a crying shame.
Well, they're children, and they don't know what they want. And like Kendall said, they need an adult to watch over them.
You know what we should have asked him? Darn it, why didn't I think of this?
What?
We should have asked him if plants and trees should have, what was it?
Constitutional rights.
Thank you, constitutional
Legal
rights.
protection.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think he'd go for that.
I don't think so either.